All right, so that looks like it's got me, but I think I had 2 streams that were effective, so let's make sure I kill the previous one. Yeah, 2 of them. Great. Uh, which one was recent? Let's take that one and delete forever. Yes, delete. Okay. All right, so I've got a couple things that I'm trying to focus on for today, and while I'm on that, let's also bring up the streaming there. Let's see. I'm going to be doing a time fix because there's a core issue that's happening right now, and I figured out the exact reason why during last stream, but I still need to fix it. If I click to focus into Unity, it doesn't matter what I've done beforehand. If I've made no changes whatsoever, it is going to serialize or deserialize the scene, and that has a huge expense since some of these meshes are actually stored in the scene. And if I click this, we should see that switch. Yeah, there we go. This hold on part, it takes a few seconds, and this happens every single time I change my focus. So, I mean, we're up to 12 seconds already. That's a pain point. Now, the reason for it is because of the fact that I have unpacked some of the objects completely. If you unpack it completely, the state of the mesh actually gets serialized to the scene itself. Now, that's a pain point. That means that it's getting serialized straight to text, which that takes a while to load, especially for larger complex data structures like meshes. So in this case, I want to create a script that will go through and detect any point where it's not actually inside the scene. So I'm creating a tool right now. Let's go to tools. No, this one's just going to be a script. And I'm probably not going to want to come back into the editor until I have this done. So let's go over into, this will be an editor script, absolutely. Create, sure, a mono behavior script. We'll clear that part out in a minute. New mono behavior. This one, extract scenes. Meshes. Let's go with that. Extract meshes, extract scene meshes. Cool. Yeah, I'll go with that one. Where's writer? There we go. Not a mono behavior. Get rid of this stuff. Messages popping up on the side. All right, so first off, we're going to need to we need a spot to save these meshes. They need to be somewhere inside the scene. I suppose this would actually be better as a mono behavior in that case. Something to add to the system that just doesn't go out or do anything in the real game. So let's do that. Mono behavior. Why does that not know mono behavior? Why is Ryder unhappy about this? Is the code broken? Do we have any errors sitting in here? Problems. Cannot resolve symbol check loaded. Check loaded is not here. Where were you running into a problem? Okay, you seem to be happier now. Double checking. No problems listed. Okay, I'm closing that down and starting it up again. Anything broken in this side? Oh, I brought back my focus to it, so I have to wait for another 15 seconds. All right, what do we got? Let's try this again. Waiting for context actions. Microsoft Defender. Exclude the folders. Yes, thank you. Yes. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I still have a problem here, and I'm not sure what it is right now. Visual Studio seems to be okay. Anyway, let's just menu. I'll just start putting stuff in there. Is it menu? I need the location, which we're going to put in. What do I have? Vigilante. Vigilante. I'm not going to make this a mono behavior. We can use it without. Vigilante slash tools IDE slash clean scene extract scene meshes. Okay. Go back to here. Menu. Public static void extract. Does that need to be public? I don't remember, but whatever. We'll keep it. All right, extract. Now that we're going to run the extract, we need a folder to store all these items to. So let's create a folder. Let's just assume target var target folder equals. That's odd. It already is telling me average view duration is 7 minutes and no one's been on the feed yet. All right. Var target folder equals, let's go with assets slash, what is the project name? Project folder underscore vigilante 41. Slash, and then this one should be under models. Models slash, and let's create a folder for this one. Extracted meshes, scene meshes from scene. Okay, so that stores into the same spot. Now we want to find out if this exists or not. That's correct. Yeah, create that one. Now we want to find out if it exists. So if underscore, if it doesn't exist, asset. So it's, asset database. I don't have the actual references to this one. Folder exists. No, I got to fix this before I go any farther in the code. I got to find out what's wrong here. So let's take this stuff, Control K C. I don't remember if this is the right menu item. It's menu item. So I can leave that one there. All right, I got to figure out why I don't have Unity engine references here. Alt Enter. Why does this not have any kind of error that is explaining to me that it's saying I can't give you IntelliSense because, and what do we have? Build services terminal problems. Oh, here we go. Failed to generate sources. Restart Roslyn and source generators. Is that gonna fix stuff? Do I get mouse over? I don't even get this dot. Oh wait, I'm in a static object. That wouldn't have anything. Yeah, I don't have vector. Okay. It still doesn't understand anything. Why? This one, F12. Cannot find declaration to go to. Good enough for me for now. To know that there's a much bigger issue happening. Can I close Unity? Yes, save the scene. Do whatever you need to. Back inside of this, just in case I'm mistaken on that one, let's comment it out. Let's also close this and restart it. Your projects are not found anymore. Remove. Remove. All right, that's loading up. Why would that be causing issues? Extract asset bundle. I don't need this one today. All right, so what I'm dealing with right now is a performance issue from the scene, and I'm trying to create a system to take meshes out of the scene that have been serialized to the scene itself. So they don't exist as files anymore. And that makes it considerably slower. So when I leave Unity and then come back, even if nothing happened, I will end up getting a 15-second lag inside of here. Oh, hey, it actually didn't do that this time. That's new. Oh, what's this? Okay, the use of input managers marked for deprecation. Wait, am I using something for this one? Where? Is this just that I need to get, is it just in settings I need to get rid of that? Okay, whatever. Detected one or more triangles where the distance between any two vertices is greater than 500 units. The resulting triangle mesh can impact simulation and query stability. Okay, I'm not too concerned about that at the moment. All right, so next, I need a script that's effectively going to go through and figure out which one of these has that issue. So first, I just need to identify them. But I've been running into another fun issue where's my setup? Scene scripts. Where's scripts? There, editor, and extract scene meshes. So, good morning, Belk. All right, so in this one, I do not have any of the IntelliSense stuff showing up yet. So F12, won't be able to find the references. Same thing with Unity Engine, I'm guessing. Could not find declaration to go to. Failed to generate sources. Why? Only allowed to have one file passed with the extensions. What is this? Okay, that's new. I need a search window. I've been searching forever and finally found it. Create a .global config file in the root of your project. I don't think that relates to it. So let's go back. JetBrains rider.exe. Okay, yeah, this is an error space. I'm expecting that. All right, I get this error. Oh, hey, same error I've got. Yay. Same problem. JetBrains says this is a Unity problem. Found the solution, but I am unable to judge the possible repercussions. Okay. Great. Okay, so this is exactly where I was. All right. Into the root of the project, .global config. Let's try it. I'm bringing a notepad up for now. Let's copy these 2 lines. Yeah, just type them in. Is underscore global equals true .net underscore diagnostic dot usg 001 3 zeros dot severity equals none. All right, Control S, and now this needs to go to the root of the project. So LG, no, I need F drive projects, Vigilante 41, this project. I assume this is the right project space. The name of the file is going to be .global config. All right, it didn't exist, so that's a good start. Let's go into here and close this and then restart it. All right, no errors inside of here. Nothing's being covered up by this or this. So any errors within Unity should show up. Now we're waiting for Rider to load up. Yeah, it's set to live. Okay, do we get proper information yet? F12. No problems found, no problems found. F12. Could not find declarations to go to. And there it is, again. Restart the generator, restart source generators. What is going on? In a moment, I think I might even try restarting my machine to fix this. What have we got going on here? There's an update. I always have a fear that when updates come out, that they're in addition to the fact that it can alert us to the fact that something's wrong, I always feel worried that maybe they also have other little things that go randomly finicky while there's an update waiting. So yes, you can keep skipping it, but things don't work quite right. Especially when I see errors that happen and then an update seems to fix it. Of course, an update is also accompanied by a restart in many cases. So that would also resolve things in many cases. All right, if Rider's causing me enough issues, we're going to go over and switch to, not that one, preferences, external tools. We're going to switch to Visual Studio. Regenerate projects and open. Let's see if this one gets it, or at least finds out what kind of problem there might be. Yeah, let's just clear these. You don't need to know about them. Am I in the right project? Yeah, Vigilante 41. Okay, A-line packages. Not what I'm looking for. A-line editor. Vigilante 40, assembly C#. Where's the editor? Yeah, I see those ones. Why don't I see this editor project? Is this not showing? Allow unsafe code. I don't think I'm using anything unsafe in this. Okay, if that's not working, let's try loading that once more since this was just created. And if not, I'll try loading that one too. But so far, that looks like it doesn't want to show me the actual file. Like you can't find it. It doesn't have the editor package. So here's C#, here's Vigilante 40. There's no editor code here. It did bring up the right code, but if I go to this one and I press F12, this one doesn't know it either, and that's because the editor project never got included with this. Do I have something going on with this to exclude editor? Auto-referenced, Vigilante 40, general options, Vigilante editor, allow unsafe code. All right, new search, something more specific to the nature of the problem this time. Unity, opening, Unity Visual Studio no longer sees the editor project. Maybe do one, reload the project. Tried it. Technically, we didn't go into Visual Studio and do the reload of the project, but it doesn't even show up inside of here. So let's try the solution. Can I try a reload of this one? You know what? Can I just see the properties of this one? Not properties. Project build order. Nothing in here. Should be assembly C#.editor or something like that. Unity no longer includes the editor project. My editor scripts have no IntelliSense. This means that the editor scripts cannot be accessed. To resolve this issue, you can either move your editor scripts to a dedicated editor folder, which is where they are. The only thing I've done differently, it's just not creating the editor project. Where'd that go? Vigilante editor. Okay, I'm going to go ask an AI, see if it gives me any better results with this stuff. No. All right, back into here and okay, it's loaded up. We'll try Gemini out, see what it does. Okay, we got Flashlight Pro, thinking level. I don't care about complex. This so far it feels like I'm just looking for something that still be somewhat obvious. All right, go back over live stream. All right. In Unity, I have editor code in an editor folder. Normally, this project has worked fine when loading C# files in the editor. You know what? One other thing to check while I'm doing this one. Let's go into a non-editor file. Do you understand these ones? It can't get to this one either. It has no understanding of Unity engine namespace. Okay, how about camera? Oh, maybe. It does. Okay, it does understand it. So then let's go over to the code that I created and say vector3 Unity still doesn't know it. And I think the reason for that is just because it doesn't understand that it's a project inside of here. So where's the solution file? Where do I unload this one? There's normally a spot in here to be able to set this one. Or to be... I'm used to doing this with projects. Okay, so if I were to right click on the projects, I should be able to deactivate this one. Unload project, yes. And I can do that one. All right. Show folder and explore. Where's the solution file? That's what I want to see. SLN. Open with Notepad. Do we get the editor folder in here? No, it just gets this one. We don't actually get the editor folder. Unity is not adding it. Why? All right, so over here, embed packages, local packages. Sure, I don't care. I haven't changed any settings on that stuff. Regenerate package files, project files. How's that solution file looking? Open with Notepad. Same, no editor. Yeah, it should just be vigilante.editor that shows up in there. Okay, let's go back to here. Okay, normally this project has worked fine when loading C# files in Rider or VS. But now the editor project doesn't show up. I've tested in both VS and Rider. Unity recognizes it. Hey, I got an idea. Let's go over to here. Edit scene meshes. Let's do a debug.log. Sure, let's put in that one. It doesn't understand anything that it just suggested. Wait a minute, does this have AI in it? Oh, this is Visual Studio. The AI is a Copilot's enabled by default. I don't usually use this one anymore. All right, But theoretically, that one, if if Unity recognizes this, then I should get the menu item in there, and when I click it, I should get the log. Okay, no issues in building it. So now let's go over to Vigilante. I don't see anything. I'm not getting any errors either, though. What was it? Menu item, Vigilante, IDE, extract. Vigilante, no IDE. Is that the correct thing? Control C, Shift F. Yeah, just find all instances. Yeah, Vigilante menu item. Oh, it's part of menu editor. Wait a second. Look at this. I do have a code error inside of my code right now, but the editor is not catching it. So in other words, it's not loading it. But then again, over here, we still get these systems. Wait a minute. How much of these are actually inside of the editor? What's the other tool that I have inside of the editor? Let's go to UI scripts editor, read-only drawer. Okay. Read-only drawer, what was this? The read-only property that I would be able to add to an existing item. Okay, one more look over at this one to check for anything obvious that's out of place. Use GUIDs, allow unsafe code, auto-referenced, override references, root namespace, Vigilante editor. Okay, back to this one. Unity does not appear to understand the files, or to try compiling the editor CS files anymore. All right, can I just drag them over? Now, like that. Drag this off the scene for a minute. It's not an image. Treat it as text. I've attached my two editor CS files and the AS assembly definition file. Okay, one more check in this one. If I go into here and then I put one more line, no, just get rid of that, save it, return to here, reloading domain. I didn't see anything about recompiling scripts. Yeah. Even if I put an error in the CS code, Unity doesn't report any error. Why can't I get editor code to run or be recognized in the editor? There have been companies that I've worked at where this has probably been 50% of my time or more for things that should be working, but for whatever reason just don't. Okay, let's check for this. exclude platforms editor. Does it have that? Wait a minute. How did it get that? Did I do that somewhere? My read-only script was the only other thing in there, so maybe it wouldn't have noticed. And apply. An editor library that is excluded from the editor. Yeah, okay, error. Reload. Okay. That should mean we get the editor project. Where's that? C sharp, vigilante.editor. There we go. Menu item. Alt enter, because I'm not using Unity editor. So that's the only reason why that one wasn't there. This one needs a semicolon. Okay. And now I should have that menu item show up inside of here. Wow. Oh yeah, so here's what it said. It took a look at the assembly definition file and found the excluded platform, something that was plainly visible in the checkboxes. Okay, now inside of here, edit, IDE is there, extract scene meshes. Yay, we got it. Okay. Now let's put that back, I'll leave that one alone. And where did Asana go? Or my notepads? What? Okay, good. Now let's find out if I got the. Let's go into the code and start working on this. We know it's executing the code. Control KU. Folder exists. Dot folder is valid folder. Target folder. Then we're going to tell it to my. Okay. Asset folder, create folder, assets for. What? No. Why not? Oh, I'm inside Visual Studio again. Control V. Save this. Close this out. I don't want AI writing my code. There's an interesting argument that in order to own your code, you have to own the copyright to it, but you can't copyright code that AI produces. And so there's also another common thing that if you want to take code that you didn't own the copyright to, or anything that you didn't own the copyright to, you have to make a significantly notable change to that code in order for it to uh, qualify as yours. You have to be able to justify that you changed the meaning of it, the implication, the use case of it, enough that it was significantly distinct from the original one. And that's kind of variable, and it's not entirely clear on that one. And basically, you don't know if what you're doing is legal until you've actually gotten sued for it and won. But that also means that any company that has Copilot enabled by default, if you get into a lawsuit for something from like trying to sue someplace for not actually paying their license dues or something like that, or taking your source code and releasing the source code publicly, then you also have this interesting mentality that they can then fight you back on it and say, do you actually own your source code? Do you not have Copilot or other AIs writing your code for you? Do you not have them enabled to automatically pre-enter your code? Can you prove that you actually wrote this code? And so there's a new onus that's put onto the developer, onto the company, that to now say that, well, I have to actually prove it's my code. Because any company that has that stuff turned on, I mean, if some place is going to sue me, it would be within my rights to then start auditing or pushing the legal recourse for auditing to find out if they've had features like AI enabled, if they're using LLMs, if they have Copilot running. And if they do, then I can then turn it around. I don't think anyone's actually done that or tried that yet, but yeah, I mean, you've got companies out there saying like, yeah, our stuff is 90% generated. You think that 10% that you did yourself is actually going to qualify? All right. Oh yeah. So I just went on a tangent. Let's go back to Rider. That's what I was here to do. Regenerate the files and let's open this in Rider. Extract. Didn't I save this? Control. I did. Okay. It was just kept a cached copy. By the way, what was your main programming language? Um, what was my main programming language is C sharp. I've been using that since beta 2, so like 2002 ish. Uh, However, I was still doing a lot of VB and VB.net at that time, but I started out with basic. So like QBasic, basic, whatever basic system was on whatever simple system I had before. Like I had a Tandy Color Computer 2, was my first personal computer. Um, and then Tandy Color Computer 3. But it was that I didn't even, for the first like 3 or 4 years of being a programmer and writing my own code, I couldn't save a file. As soon as I would unplug basically it was a keyboard that had the entire computer in it. As soon as I unplugged that, I would lose whatever files I was working on. I would consider it like Zen training. Okay, so uh, anyway, but yeah, basic to QBasic to VB. I taught myself QBasic from the help files because they had an incredible help file that came with that, like giving you samples of showing you like all the different types of commands and instructions you could do. So you give that to a kid, like a fourth grader, and they have like plenty of time to mess with it. They'll eventually learn the whole thing. All right. Asset database, create folder, extracted from scene, target folder. Let's see if this actually works. Oh, do I need a refresh? Asset database dot refresh. Okay, so first off, let's just see if the folder gets here. That one I do expect it to reload. All right. Vigilante IDE extract meshes. And now what I'm looking over here for is the models. I've got no folder in this one. Refresh. I've got no execution error over here. Shouldn't this have worked? If it's not a valid folder, that target folder, do I need the slash at the end? Then we create the folder and we call refresh. Now this should have created the folder inside of our system. I didn't get any error in here. Let's put a debug log. Created target folder plus target folder, comma, this. There is no this. Okay. Now both usings. And let's do an else. All right, back into Unity. I should get one of these items to report back. Since I've already executed this the first time, I would expect folder already existed to start. Is it trying to load? Oh, that's not the right one. That was my physics test for removing rigid body altogether. This one still relies on rigid body right now. All right, Vigilante IDE extract. Created current folder. Editor, models. That doesn't look like it exists to me. Underscore, is there a separate... Nothing else is in here. Okay, fine. Let's go to this one and show and explore. Vigilante 41, data, not data, models. There is no folder here. Asset, create database, or create folder. That's what it was supposed to do, right? No, not there. Where did the code go? There. Okay, so it says that it created it. Asset database, create folder. Let me look up an example of this one. Oh, that's a different setup. Okay. All right, so what is this one? We want the parent name and then the name of the folder we're about to create. Oh, got it. Yeah, so I'm trying to create. It doesn't have this folder, so it's complaining. It's basic. It's not even giving me a complaint. That's weird. Why doesn't it even bother to give me a complaint saying that that folder didn't exist? It couldn't create the folder. Nothing in here. No error message whatsoever. All right. Well, let's fix that. Where do we go? No. There. All right. Extracted from scene. We're going to get rid of this part. Control. Control CVV. Target parent folder. And that will equal this. All right. Equals target parent folder plus there. Get rid of that semicolon. Target parent folder. All right, so I've got the full reference of what I was looking for before. Created target folder, Control S, and where's Unity? Back to there. Vigilante, IDE, extract, and now expand this out. Models, still has nothing. Says that it created it. Let's do it again. Vigilante, IDE, extract mesh. Says it generated it again. All right, let's follow the code and see what's happening. I'm going to put a breakpoint there and edit. Attach to Unity editor, yes. Turn to live stream. Oh, what's going on? All right, so over here, we got editor going, not that one. Here, Vigilante IDE extract scene meshes. Oh, good, it's there. Okay, so we want to check this one out now, F12. Oh, I didn't want to jump into the sources here. It's not bad though. I like that it does it. F10. F10. Does this return anything? Returns a string, creates a new folder. Parent string must start with the assets folder. And I do start with the assets folder. And all folders within the parent folder must already exist. It doesn't put the slashes in here. So it does it only if it exists. It returns, it will return an empty string. Got it, thank you. So we're going to say var stop. GUID equals asset database.create. GUID. Okay. So now we got the information being returned, Control S. And we can find out if it's unhappy with that for some reason. Do I need to put, oh, I've got a semicolon in the string. That would definitely do it. There would be no semicolon, the folder wouldn't have existed. Is that what the log messages said? I already erased it. Okay, it keeps wiping out the, it keeps erasing the data every time that it does this, so we're going to get rid of these. And I'll just clear it manually from now. Okay, now, Vigilante, IDE, extract. We got a GUID. There's the folder. It exists. Yay. That should have been a lot easier. Okay, I want to see this. Var target T equals, close that one. Okay, I'm not sure if I did that one myself or if that was a typo from the way that writer tries to automatically insert stuff. But it happened on multiple lines. No, wait, the lines were duplicated from each other, so that makes sense. If it was on the first one, it was on the second. All right, so semicolons out of the way, it was able to create what I was expecting. Cool. All right, now I need to actually extract all this stuff. So I should have, I guess not a separate function it creates. I don't need that one. Let's just go with that. Okay, so now I need to find all of the mesh filters in the scene. So var filters equals mesh filter game object dot find all game object with tag, no, object by type. Can I give it a construction type here of mesh filter? All right. Okay, so we've got var, we're getting a mesh filter, and now for each var filter in filters. And now I just need to detect whether or not this exists only in the scene. And the way to check for that is to see if the shared mesh actually exists. So if filter.shared mesh equals null, then debug.log no shared mesh. I don't need to display it, comma this. Not this. What is the object? Filter.gameObject. Okay, this should report errors of anything that has a shared mesh inside it. Let's try it, and then I can test it. I can click on it, I can see the object and find out that it has nothing existing already. So Vigilante IDE extract scene meshes. I got nothing. Okay, try it again. Vigilante IDE extract scene meshes. It says it has nothing. Okay, let's do a quick search on this one. I thought that's all I needed to do for it. Unity. Oh. 1 second. Headphones are stuck in there. All right, Unity C# is mesh serialized to scene or a file asset. Because I don't want to do this with everything. Save a prefab with a generated mesh without creating blah 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 serialization. Serialization in Unity? No. Okay, do we have a script? Are you suggesting anything? Procedurally generate meshes at runtime? No. Yeah, I get that. Yes, that's the state that I'm getting. So it's there. No, completely missed the point. Is mesh. Oh. How can I tell if a mesh filter.mesh is serialized to scene or file asset? I don't think this is a common issue people run into. How to detect if this is it? Unity editor, what does it come up with? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, they're checking to see if the to check the shared mesh filter. Okay, that's just checking to see if it's not assigned. So it checks to see if it is in there. Now we do asset database.contains mesh. Okay, got it. Let's check that one. Asset database.contains, and that one should just be what? The filter.mesh. Okay, return to Unity. All right, so inside of this one, we're detecting to see whether or not we have the object. Check that one, filter mesh. Where is Unity? There we go. Vigilante, IDE, extract, loads of stuff. This will leak meshes. Okay, I got that one. Okay, what was it suggesting? Because that didn't seem like it was right. Okay, got it. It's checking the mesh from the shared mesh. So let's just do that. Filter.shared mesh. All right, clear those. That actually might have been harmful to my memory, so let's just take a quick look at this. Yeah, 47% free. We're good. All right, now jobs, Vigilante, IDE, extract. Okay, I got no messages, so that means it already has the folder and it had nothing to report. Okay, now I know I was seeing this, so where was I seeing this? Let's go to box one. Or is this in the prefabs? No, it shouldn't be in the prefabs. Player car? Where's my mesh filter? Base car, cube, cube instance. It doesn't look like it came up with anything. Let's go to that project. Cube instance. Yeah, this one has nothing right now. It's loading off of a prefab. Where's the prefab getting this information? But this is already embedded into the scene. So overrides apply to all, because yeah, just apply all. Why does it still have everything listed here? Select. That cube doesn't exist. Does the car exist anywhere? Cube 02? Did I just like completely remove it? Where's the model for this thing? Okay, maybe I did the same thing to car. If I drag car in here, I go to car, let's expand out base car, cube, there is no mesh there. Where's the actual car mesh? No filter. Is there a car showing? Uh, There's no car showing. Yeah, there's just no car at all. All right, so something happened and this ended up clearing out all the data. Great. So does that mean I have no traffic? What happens to my traffic? What's this going to do? At what point did I break my code? Oh, look at all this. 2 audio listeners. Oh, hold on. Turn from that one. Now, there are 2 audio listeners in this scene. Why are there 2 audio listeners in this scene? The car has the camera. That's why. Okay. I dragged in car. Car didn't have any meshes listed. This one within the scene has the meshes listed, so, and those ones don't exist in the project. So as soon as I try to extract this to a prefab, the prefab doesn't actually gain the mesh. So it's just the player car. Do I actually have the player car in here still? Because maybe I can just drop that back in here manually and fix it. Because if I can just get rid of that from the scene, then I should be good. Car in 1 hour by Unity Fan. Add component snap. All right, so we still got the mesh for this. Now let's go over to our player car. What? There we go. Now I need to set the correct meshes from this one. So we got a base car, cube, and now I need the actual mesh in here. Where is that? This one. Cube. Good, we got this stuff. Okay, still good. Cube 1. Cube 1. Hey, where's the... Hey, come on, where's the typing? Cube dot 001. How many of these do I have? What's this one from? No. It's messing that stuff up pretty quick. Oh, yeah, that's the exact shape right there. What are you stored into? Car in 1 hour. That's it. So first one that showed up. Perfect. We'll go with that. Did I change this one then? Cube. Cube is a little bit too plain here, but that comes from car in 1 hour. Perfect. All right. 2. Assets. .002. Car in 1 hour. Got that part. Good. Cube 3. Assets. .003. Yep, same thing. Correct. 4. I guess I don't need a script to fix all this. I just need this part running. .004. All right, that looks correct. 05. Same thing. 6. .006, enter. That's correct. And this should be the last one. Well, maybe. I'll check those other ones too. What's this one from? Definitely not the right thing. That one is some trim along the back. Also from car in 1 hour. Good. Okay, Unity logo. Yeah, I want to clear away anything from here that's not this stuff. So, logo. Yeah, that's not right. That looks more right. What are we at? We're at 0, 0. Okay, that's got to be it. All right, we need 0, 1. Logo. Assets. 0, 2. Unifan 0, 3. 0, 3. No, logo. Good. Okay, that is all of the stuff for the car. Save it. Okay, I don't need to write the utility script now, which that saves me time. So good, I'm happy with that. That should be the only thing that was in here for it. So control save. Let's make sure the game runs. And then we got no errors. Start. I need to clear the errors. So we were getting lots of errors. Oh, stop. Okay, no errors. Play. See if any errors show up in here. Okay, nothing. Just general log messages. All right, that spot showed up. Okay, attractive light works. Good. All right. Now these, I don't need all this stuff. This is race that sets up the times that were saved to all of them, which all of them are just empty right now. So let's go over to this where that actual line of code is. Control KC. Save this. The size of the scene should be less, but I didn't get a copy, or I didn't figure out what the size of the scene was before the change. So let's go over to, oh, let's go to the terminal. No. In this case, I don't want the terminal. I want to view the differences. Okay, so what have we got over here? Heavy station kit. Is that all? That's all still in here. I don't want to get that stuff loaded up. Heavy station kit. Default material was changed. Getting rid of that. That's going to take forever. Ignore. No, I don't want to get them. I just want to exclude the selected files. All right. That's going to take forever. Home. Okay, now the scene file, game unity scene file is too large to be displayed. Show diff. I want to see. Okay, so yeah, over here we had a huge amount of index information that has been reduced down to just nothing. Okay. That one's also been cleared out. Oh, that was huge. Yeah, all this data was being stored inside of the scene file for the mesh information. And it's not there anymore. Okay. Wait a minute. No, this is telling me that this is the green is the stuff that's there now. There's even more data. Okay. That is not right. Go back to here. I reset the data to use the correct ones in here. So now if I select this, it shows me the item it has. Cube here, select same, select, select. It's highlighting it down here. That should all be there. So now go to this one, overrides, and apply all. Theoretically, it should be happy. They should have taken. That was interesting. When the asset didn't contain a real reference to the data and it was serializing that information in the scene, it wouldn't let me store it back to the prefab. So that suggests that something inside of here can't be returned back to the scene either, since these ones are not committing. Okay, so what changed? And drop off action, not a big deal. Player car 30. The only one. Everything else existed beforehand. We were on car, and now we're on player car. It wouldn't be able to retain its reference to that, though. That's fine. Apply. Why can't it apply this one? Same. What's different? Main camera. Yeah, it's not going to be able to store a reference to that. That'll get lost. Apply. Apply to prefab car. Okay. One last option that is not the one that I wanted to do for now, but I also want to skip coding the whole thing. So I want to switch the serialization to force binary. Yes. So this will reload the project. All of the assets, instead of being serialized JSON, will be stored to reload. Yes, will be stored to binary, which should make everything load faster. But it also means that I lose all diffs inside of my code or inside of my merges. I can't do any kind of merge correction after the fact. That code I can. That's plain text that's being stored. But the scenes, the prefabs, the data being stored to my scriptables, those are not going to be manually text editable anymore. But it should make it faster. And right now I don't have anyone else working on the project. So let's do this. Play, make sure everything works. And then I'll go back into the GitHub desktop and make sure that that one appears happy. All right. Oh, clear. Stop. Start it again. Let's see about any errors. Okay. Couple casual pieces of information. And views are happy. Let's write in on this side. Okay, no errors. Now let's return and go back to here. That won't have diff binary file now. Okay, we do have more files that changed. Yeah, any of these assets have changed now. Binary, 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 binary. Wait, materials as well? Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. Okay, whatever. For right now, I can change it back to text later and deal with that if I need to. So first off, things are unchecked. Let's add some notes in here. Inside of this one, what have we got? Vigilante 41 prefab. What was this one? Scene saved to binary. Scene saved to binary. Faster editor loading. Commit. Added. Yay. Push. All right. Back inside of here, I do need to add a new input system, not input system, package. And that's going to be the splines package. I need to be able to start getting, oh, what's going on here? Unity fan. Unity fan. Hello. Hello, sir. We have exchanged emails before. Yes. Because I accidentally just found a PDF file in my Google Drive, which called Vigilante Racer Unity fan request with some tech and design direct requirements. I absolutely forgot about it. That's okay. That's okay. I actually got distracted for a while. I basically was going through different versions of what I was trying to create in the game. And man, I'm really honored to have you on the channel. I reference you somewhat regularly inside of this stuff. And you can see it, why I've got the art up there. Well, normally I have the art up there because it's one of the theme cars from the game. And I am planning on upgrading to some of the more modern ones that you have in there as well, but I don't have it right now. Let's see. So inside of this, what I'm dealing with right now is I need to get splines back into the system. Splines, where's that? What is this doing now? I thought I was done with that. I guess not. All right, Spline. Install. And it should have the samples project. I want to install the samples project too. All right, let's see what's going on. Yeah. Let me see if I can find your email. Okay, give me a minute. I have that somewhere else, so let's go to this one. Unity fan. It's got plenty of stuff from Unity. Oh, I might have even sent it through an old email address when I talked to you the first time. Yeah, whatever. My email address is generally somewhat public information. All right. Yeah, please feel free to reach out. There's some, I use disguised emails. Oh, so it wouldn't have mattered what address I had from you before anyway. So that works for me. All right, I'll be waiting for your email. But yeah, definitely a fan of your channel and of all your car work. That's just awesome stuff that you make. So Unity fan, who is chatting with me right now, is the creator of this car and many of the other ones, which I want to show you one of the other tests that I did. If I can find that one. Where's my visual test? Not that one. That's still the old one. Fluid morph. This one. That's the physics design. Where's my player? Oh yeah. So this is the better version. Like this is the car that I was using where I took the wheels off. And basically I just wanted to cover up the wheels wells with something. But yeah, this one looks sharp inside of here. I definitely like the effect. The pixelation is actually just to do with the fact that this was like a 1080p recording and I'm currently showing it at 4K. What do I think about Unreal Engine? Um, I have no issue with Unreal Engine or C++, really. Like both systems are good um, and certainly have a better place. Yeah, oh, get back in there. So inside of the Unreal Engine, in my opinion, like Unreal Engine starts out with higher quality to begin with. Like you start out their system and you have all of like the higher end rendering systems already active. It also means that when you're doing stuff, you're eating up a lot more performance. You take more loading time, things like that, and it's so it can be a little bit more costly. But then uh, in Unity, they target the lighter settings to begin with, and so it's easier to get something lighter. But then that also means that when someone first starts out using a system, they can create something very attractive in Unreal, and in Unity, they tend to make things that look a lot, well, crappier. Um, but yeah, so if you know what you're doing inside of Unity, you can get similar quality performance, similar quality uh, rendering as what you get in Unreal. And quite honestly, there's so many cheats in effect that come out nowadays in like rendering techniques where you take a game that was built like 10, 15 years ago and compare it with some of the games that they have out today, like the top end games, and you can see that they still had some very similar quality effects in there. Granted, there are a few things that have come a much longer way, like ray tracing live in games, but quite frankly, most of the games that do ray tracing, you can't tell the difference when you turn off the ray tracing and just go to their normal gameplay mode. Any place that sets it up well, they know what they're doing. Now, in both systems, Unreal and Unity, once you've been working in it for somewhere between like 5 to 10 years, then you know how to you start getting into the point where you can cut features out and replace them. And generally, you have to when you're working with either one. Um, Now, Unity is more chaotic in its structure, which means that they don't have a standard network solution. So in Unreal, they have a standard network solution. So when other network providers come in and you say, I want a network provider, I want to get network graphics in this, or networked physics, whatever, they already have something that's in there and you can set it up as almost push button where it's just like you set a checkbox and it says, okay, we're going to use the new network solution instead of the old one. And the developers don't even have to think about it. In Unity, it's like the exact opposite. Since there isn't a standard one, everything needs to be its own approach. And also, since the architectures are game objects, which are generally weaker in performance, um, most of the architectures for getting better performance step you outside of game objects, like you get ECS. Now, at the same time, most of Unreal is starting to depend more on blueprints. More companies depend on it, and blueprints is slower than what they can get out of C++. So it's not to the same weakness level as game objects, but when you're comparing like ECS to Unreal for Unreal blueprints, you're going to get a heck of a lot more performance out of ECS. Uh, but yeah, It really just depends on your comfort level. My comfort level is inside of Unity. I like the C# language. I like the memory management built into it. I like the fact that undefined behavior in Unity versus C++. C++ is a monster with that. It's like the compilers are just like, we don't care what you say you want in your code. We're going to put our own thing in there. So in C++, you want to convert a type to another type. This is pretty common when you're dealing with networking, and especially where you get in data from another location, and the third-party API or whatever has a struct for how that's supposed to look, and it says like from these bytes to these bytes of the package that you get in, it includes floats, and that's your vector3 or whatever it is. And so now that you know the identifier of that message, now you need to pass the rest of the bytes into something else. Now, normally in C++, you're not supposed to switch that data type. You're not supposed to convert it over to another one, where you can. I mean, you can do the same thing in C#, but it produces a copy of the data. And that's painful. I don't want to produce copies of data when the data is already sitting there and I still have to do other things with it. Not when I can just say, here's the pointer to memory, and I can get and say, now treat it as a pointer to a different type. Anyway, this is probably way more information than you were looking for, but I like C#'s ability to do that. Now, at the same time, you absolutely can get more performance out of C++. There's no question about that. There are points with ECS, with burst compilation, where it's just as fast, but it is not everything, and it is not normal. All right, let's get rid of that one and get back into here. I am planning on bringing the graphics in this game back up to this version of it. I just don't. My focus on this one was more speed-based. Why isn't that going away? The video's not leaving. Go away. Alt F4? What? Okay, you don't want to shut down? Then die. It died. Okay, good. Yay. No, I don't want to kill Explorer. All right, so now back into the game. Where was I leaving off with this one? Splines. I just put in splines, and I was going to start working on the spline system for this one. Tunnels. I really like the way tunnels feel and operate in this game, so I wanted to take advantage of that more. All right, so spline, let's well, whatever. I'll create a spline right here. And it's been a while since I've worked with the spline. Oh, I need the sample system if that's available. Samples import. All right. Splines are taking their time. One of the reasons you want to pull in, or I would suggest anyone pull in samples for splines, is because samples, Unity spline includes very, very little. It's literally like just the lines. And the samples are the ones where it's like, here's a tiny sample script to go ahead and create, take a mesh and stretch it out over the material. So you take your road and it shows up, or a tunnel. All right, so I'm going to need a tunnel for this. Let's go into... Ooh, I've got a good one to use for it. Where are my models? Car models. Models. Okay, not that one. Highlight blend junk. No. Replace trench. Replace trench is perfect because it already has that tunnel size there. So I could extract this one out, but I don't even need that. No. I can use something else for this. Whatever. I'll replace this one because then I can put in something on the other side and take advantage of that one. Okay, so let's do this. Replace trench 05. Yeah, let's open that one. Do I have Blender? I do. Do I have 2 copies of it up and running? Okay, double checking which one I've got. Wait, these are both the same thing. Go away. All right, now I was just thinking like, Unity fan, you are regularly doing this stuff, so I am embarrassingly beginner. All right, so there will be 101 things that you will know how to do better, 1,001 things. Okay, in this one, I'm going to put the material in here as well. Wait, it's already there. Oh, it's the shader type. Okay, cool. Now in this one, I already know that I've got this cut out for the material size. So let's duplicate this. Control D. Oh, Control CV. Okay, and now this second one is not going to be trench. This one will be trench tunnel. And let's create one more. Control D. CV. Delete? No. Control CV. Okay, that's what I wanted. Trench opening. All right, trench tunnel and trench opening. And also they should be to the same object. All right. Let's just get tunnel. So get rid of stuff. Wireframe here. Oh, tab. That helps. Okay, tab's not working. All right, now it is. Back to the lines. I can, which one am I? Trench tunnel, delete faces. Great. Oh, I'm on lines. I just selected lines. No wonder I can delete the faces. All right, so there we go. We'll keep that one in there. Control S. That's the trench tunnel. Now I need the other one. Tab. Get rid of that one. Show the trench opening and tab. 3 to select those. I want that part this time. Okay, that's just the trench part with the opening. Control Shift S, save it. Just save. Okay, now that I've got that one in there, that does show up as a separate mesh. Let's see if it just pops in and clears extra stuff in there. So yeah, we've got the extra meshes. Now, the one that I'm using inside of the game, let's take a look. Scene. All right, any extra stuff showing up here? No, it's just using the mesh directly. That's material. Oh, Trench 0, okay, Trench 05 is using the instance of this as well. Instance of an instance? Great. That's incorrect. So this has no reference to anything whatsoever. That's another performance problem. Let's go find the code. Trench 05. Yeah, there we go. Trench 05. Why is it not letting me set it? I can't drag it in from there. Oh, duh, that wasn't, I was choosing the wrong one. I'm up here at the object. Here's the actual mesh. There. Much better. Control Z. Did this not save UVs with it? Okay, let's go back over to here. Trench 05. Drag it in. Did I invert these somehow? No. Wait, Trench 05. Where's the rest of the trench? Wait, what? Oh, this is Control Z. That also means that my trench setup is wrong. Oh, all of these buildings are instances. Pain point. All right. Looks like I still do need to create the tooling for this to replace that. All right, this is the one that I meant to be using. All right, replace Trench 05. This should be the only instance of it here. So now let's go replace that one, Trench 5. Okay, much better. All right, now for the next one. If I were to replace this with just the trench opening, where do we go? Trench opening. Okay, now that cuts off and we can start to depend on spline for the rest of the part. Okay, and that's supposed to come through right in here. All right, now I need to modify this to get the spline in. Let's go to here and here, trench tunnel. Hey, where is this? Tab. Oh, I've got the wrong item selected. Tab, there we go. That's not working. What is happening here? Why am I not getting stuff? I'm hitting the numeric keypad dot and it's not taking focus here. Because I have material selected? I don't think so. Because I have nothing selected. There we go. All right, inside of here, I now need to slice this up. I need to divide it. Let's just go divide. Does subdivide have a method to do this where I can say the number of cuts and in which direction? Not what I'm looking for. Unity fan, if you're still here, do you know a hotkey for setting or for basically putting a number of slices straight across this, just evenly distributed? I want to put like 10 cuts across here. Divide. Let's go to do the general thing I would do anyway. Inside of this, Unity, C#, no, Blender. Divide. Knife tool. Okay. So K, and then what do I do with this? Okay, like I can select that end. It puts it in the middle of here. Oh, sorry. No. Okay. There's going to be a small amount of lag, like maybe a couple seconds. It's not that. All right. Yeah. See, I originally tried the divide, but that didn't split. That would separate the. I assume that would just divide this thing up, but Blender. What? Now get rid of this. Blender divide only on one axis, or cut, or knife. Just try that. There is a tool. I believe you. Subdivide, yes. I mean, I could use subdivide to do it and it would work. But that's not, but it adds extra stuff that I don't need. Ooh, an easy way to subdivide along one axis only. But now I have to verify everything about, that takes so long. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Answers. Control R and then mouse. Okay. Let's do this. A, Control R, scroll wheel. Nice. Okay. Ah, okay. Barely beat you for this one. Ah, no. Okay. Ooh, I can choose the direction. Nice. What? Okay, I didn't mean for that. What? All right. Increase number of cuts. I don't need that many. I guess for now, let's just go with none. Let's go with none for a second here. Control Z. Put that back. We're going to create a duplicate of this one. Trench tunnel, Control CV. Okay, so let's back up. One slice. Trench tunnel, 20 slice. That way I can undo it after saving. All right. Now, A, Control R, zoom in, and let's bring this up to 20. There. Okay, that should be good. I'm happy with that, and enter. Okay, Control S. Let's go to regular view. Okay, cool. We got the texture, the tiles, that still looks good. And save it back into Blender or into Unity. Now we need the spline tool. Okay. Junkyard, no. Over here, car race in 1 hour, race designer, no. We'll just create something straight out of here. Plus spline. I want to use this one. Okay, draw splines tool. Now that I got this one, game object spline. How do I start working with the spline? Containers not matching selection. Okay, that's if I have an object in here that's doing this. So fine. We're going to create empty. Spline tunnel junkyard. Add component spline. Spline container. There. Now, do you have what you need? Spline. All right, so now where is it located? Wait, what's this? Oh, got it. It's using the 3D object, but then I have to be able to see the surface of it? No. It's operating down here. And that. Oh, and that one. Okay, good. It does operate from here. So let's just... No, that's not operating on this tunnel. How about from here? All right, that created a spline tool there. We're going to move this one up and back. Manually aligning this one's going to be a pain. But let's start with that. And for the drop down tool, let's grab this one, drag it over, and I guess I'll create this one here. And let's create another path point. Plus, no, right there, to here. Oh, that definitely cuts through the wrong spot. Check right there. And right about there. All right, now let's fill this one in. I need this. That's definitely not right. That's better. Okay. Cool. Now I need the script that's actually going to put the mesh around this. Spline extrude, that might be it. Instantiate, no, that sets all the items along it. Loft road, I think that's what I need to use for this one. We'll throw that one in there, and now it needs a container, a spline container. Why do we have two different ones here? An NPC. Oh man, they've expanded on these. I don't want anything expanded on these things. Keep the sample simple. Remove script. Okay, splines. Let's go down to splines. There we go. Splines. Do we have documentation in here? README. Refer to the README file in each sample scene. Okay, scenes. What have we got? Extrude spline. Save, yes. Save the scene. Okay, we've got some large thing going on here. Splines, F12. Or F. All right, so it's got this thing on here. Now what? What's the extrusion method? Over here, geometry. Does this allow us to add a mesh? Shape extrude. Circle. Okay, so that's not what I want. That just gives me a general tube. I mean, I could make this a circle. Wait a second. Square. Okay, that absolutely is not a regenerate. That helps. Okay, that looks squarish. Oh, yeah, that's definitely square. Okay, let's take a look at this in, yeah, awesome. I can go with square. All right, back to my original scene. Oh, if I do it this way, I'm not going to get physics back out of it. I could switch over to the new physics system. I'll just create math for this to generate this from the spline point that I'm at. There's one point of the spline math I'm not comfortable with yet, that detecting where along the spline I am in the car. Last time I tried that, I didn't get good results with it. So I want to test or make sure that I can get something effective there. But let's try it. Let's just get going on this one. Oh, it's all right. What have we got going on here? No, no. Scene. I need the scene. Don't save. Back to regular method. And this one. Okay, spline tunnel. And now for the spline tunnel, add component, extrude. Okay, cool. Now for the extrusion method, it also wants a mesh render. Sure, whatever. Lit, fine. Over here. Next, what have we got? I can use the same material that I was already using for this one. Okay, what's the material? Trench 5. There it is. So now if I select here, I can drag Trench 5 up to the material for this one, and it uses the same one now. Okay, next I need... oh, I can't use it from the extrusion method because it doesn't get the same UV lineup. Whatever. All right, square. I'll deal with that one secondary. Now I need the size. Radius. Oh, there's got to be a big twist inside of this. That's got to be what's happening here. So this one doesn't have a twist, but this one does. All right, so what have we got for this? Let's try 50. 60? That looks about right. Huh. All right, well, now let's go over to the tooling on this one. Back to this, spline, grab a spline item, move it over, pull it back to the surface. Take that last one. Is that correct? Oh, that's external. I want to invert this. All right, well, whatever. We're getting this closer towards what I'm looking for right now. So can I set what just this point is? Where is my geometry on this one? Yes, I've got that one selected, which is from here. We're going to expand out the spline. Which one do I have? I think this one is 0. Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, 0. Good. I've got 0 over here. So now expand this one out. We're going to change the rotation. Let's just try this. 0, 0, 0. Okay. Happy with that one. But the rotation of this one, let's see if, can I just set X rotation? Not X, Z. What are we going up to? 180. All right. 180. 0 and 0. There. Now we're going to move this one over. That's not square. Okay. Technically, this wasn't even the one that I wanted to use anyway. All right, we're skipping out of this one. The curve looks about right, though, or a lot closer. That's not that great for right there. All right, what do I have for the line? Linear, auto, Bezier. Where's the ending points for it? There we go. Cool. Okay, spline's a little bit better set up. Let's get rid of the extrusion object on here. Remove. Wait, double check. Advance anything obvious in here. Update colliders. Yes. Target mesh asset. Yes. Target mesh asset. Oh, wait a second. That's where it's going to save the mesh. No, I don't want it to overwrite the mesh that I just created. Oh man, it's like 1 a.m. I'm gonna call this for the night. Let's go to remove the items that I have in here. It won't let me remove that yet. Remove this one, remove, and remove. Save the scene and go back over to, where's my spline stuff? Splines over here. What have we got? Scenes. Animate component. No, don't care. Spline path. Oh, what have we got here? Everything load up. All right, I've got compilers. This one is generating a mesh, yes? So let's go over to Spline. Got it. And now if I were to move this one, yeah, that moves the spline. Now, what object is this using? This is using the road behavior. Loft road. Okay, this is not the one where it had that NPC sample. Okay, got it. Loft road behavior. This one matches up a lot closer, more closely to what I wanted. Now let's go back to the other scene. Scenes, game scene, don't save. Select the junkyard, go down to there, and add component loft, road behavior. Okay, so now I need the mesh that this is going to be using. That's the spline. Now I need the mesh. The spline, or the mesh, is going to be trench tunnel slice 20. All right. And now I need segments per meter. Based on that size, I think it's about 1, so that seems reasonable. Texture scale 1, sure. And then, oh, no. Segments per meter. That's how long the mesh is, basically. So let's go with like 40 for now. All right, it's got the spline, it's got the widths, plus, just 1, minus, we only need 1. Okay, default value, flat. Okay, this is literally treating it like a road. It generates a flat road. Okay, in this case, I'm going to have to write my own script for it, and I will do that one tomorrow. All right, I will talk to everyone later. All right, thanks. Bye. I will say goodbye again. I say good day.